you enjoy your footplay pride today?
I loved it. I loved being on the footplate. It was very, very exciting. I mean, I hadn't appreciated how much work it is to drive a steam engine. Both the engine driver and the fireman are pretty active all the way through. There's also an amazing contrast between cold and heat. It's quite a cold day today, and I have one hand that's frozen on the outside and the heat coming from the furnace. A pretty impressive heat, I can tell you.
Good. And what are your sort of thoughts of the Great Railway Journeys? How do you rate that in terms of one of your achievements today?
Well, I'm delighted with the way the Great British Railway Journeys worked out. We've made 20 of them last year. I enjoyed making them enormously. We're going around using the 19th century guidebook, Bradshaw's handbook, and that seemed to be a very good way of exploring the history of our country, its railway history, and also in a way what the country is today, kind of modern handbook of Britain today. So I'm very pleased with the way all that worked out, and in fact we're making another 25 this summer.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to that. And what about your experiences of salmon fishing on the Dart? Do you actually get to hook something out of the river?
In making these programs, there was quite a lot to do with fishing, as you can imagine, because we have a lot of coast in Britain, and particularly Victorian times, of course, when my guidebook was written, fishing was a very important industry. I was a curse wherever I went. I don't think we caught any serious quantities of fish wherever I was, and unfortunately that applied to fishing salmon in the Dart. We had a very, very poor catch indeed, I'm afraid. In fact, I think 0.
Oh right. Oh well, better luck next time then.
Thank you.
Maybe you should have come crabbing with us at Titsum. You're guaranteed to catch a crab there.
Well, I just sampled some of the crab while we were on the boat, and delicious it is, I must say.
What is your favourite experience of Devon today?
Seriously, I think Dartmouth. I didn't know Dartmouth until making the Great British Railway Journeys. We took the main train we're on now, and we came down and then to the little ferry across to Dartmouth. And I was really overwhelmed. Dartmouth and King's Weir obviously sit on either side of this kind of ravine, this part where the river narrows and where the sides of the river are pretty steep. And they're both such picturesque towns. Dartmouth having the advantage, of course, having the naval college as well. It really is a remarkable setting, and the houses are very picturesque and very beautifully painted. So actually when people ask me about the programmes that we made, the 20 programmes, the 40 days that we were filming, I often think back to that experience travelling on this train and ending up in Dartmouth.
Oh, great. So you say you didn't know much about Dartmouth before you came down here. Do you know much about Totnes as a place? Have you been as far as Totnes?
Do you know, I think I'm typical of my generation. I was born in the 1950s, and until maybe the middle 1960s we used to take our holidays in Britain. And then after that, we started going abroad. We joined the hordes of people travelling by air. In my case, particularly to Spain, because my family's half Spanish. And I feel that I've missed out on a lot of British tourism. One of the reasons I think our programme, Great British Railway Journeys, was quite successful was that we tapped into that. A lot of people say, "My goodness, we've forgotten how beautiful Britain is. We've forgotten all the things that there are to do in Britain." And particularly now with the pound not very strong against either the dollar or the euro, I think this is a time when people are going to rethink whether maybe they should be taking their holidays at home. And they'd even do that with a heavy heart, because there's plenty of beautiful places to go, beautiful places to see.
Quite. And as we discussed earlier, the weather in fact was quite spectacular in September when you can go and enjoy these places even more.
We were filming last year in August and September, second half of August. The second half of August was a bit iffy, and sometimes a bit cold. September was absolutely glorious.
Were you aware that we own the boats on the River Dart when you did your series, and that we actually run daily to Totnes?
I doubt if I was aware of that. When you're making a film, you're just kind of rushing around and focusing on what you're being given to do. Of course, we used the little ferry over to Dartmouth. I think you may be referring to the fact that we said there were no more steamers on the Dart, but we meant steamers, we didn't mean there were no boats on the Dart.
What is it about steam trains that really excites you?
Oh, about history. They're to some extent about my youth, because my earliest railway journeys were on steam engines. They're kind of real in a way that, I don't know, electric engines aren't. I mean, you're aware of the technology, you're aware of the engineering, you're aware of the achievement. They just are fun, aren't they? I mean, when I was a child, there was still steam engines. We used to travel by steam engine. But when I had a clockwork railway, I mean, you didn't want a clockwork diesel or a clockwork electric engine. You wanted a clockwork steam engine. Mm-hmm. The sound, the smell, the grit coming past the window, the smoke, the steam. It's a wonderful experience. And I think, I think the heart does beat faster whenever you're in the presence of a steam engine. I remember recently being at King's Cross to catch a train, and there was a tornado. Everybody's looking at the engine because it's just such a wonderful sight and such a wonderful sound.
Mm-hmm. So now, having travelled this 20 journeys, how would you rate the Dartmouth Steam Railway and Riverboat Company in terms of the experience that you've had?
It's a fantastic experience. It's a beautiful piece of line. It's, I would say, the most outstanding coastal scenery that I've seen from a steam railway, particularly passing past Goodricton Sands. Absolutely stunning. At times the railway is very high above the coast with a kind of sheer drop down to the beach, down to the rocks and the water. That's lovely. The destination is so marvellous, because you arrive at Kingswear and then you've got this marvellous opening up of the Dark River. You pass over 3 very stunning viaducts, you go through a tunnel. I mean, it's got it all really. It's a very lovely experience. And what's more, allegedly in Devon, the weather is some of the best that you get in the United Kingdom. Roger, thank you very much indeed. That was a really good ride. Thank you so much. Chris, thank you very much. See you another day. Yes. Have a great time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good season.